Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, my name is Isabel, and on this channel I share my journey to becoming a full-time artist. And this month marks the second anniversary of my YouTube channel. So during the next few days, during this vlog, I'll be answering the questions you left me in the comments or sent me via DMs. And yeah, and then also in the next few days I want to keep drawing my little treasures, and I'm also thinking of redrawing a toad. I made this into a sticker. That was a toad I drew with pen, and I'm thinking of drawing another toad in either colored pencils or graphite. Well, I don't know, I'm not sure, maybe graphite. Yeah, just make him a little friend. How's that? Yeah, so let's see what kind of treasures we can draw tonight, and then I'll start answering a couple questions. So I wrote down the questions I received. Some of you left me more than one question at a time, so I might jump from one person to the next. And let's see what treasure I would like to draw tonight. I actually started working on this ribbon, so maybe I'll do that. I'm kind of feeling like doing something kind of easy tonight, you know, it's getting kind of late. So many treasures. I have this little piece of coral. Maybe I'll work on that. And yeah, and I guess I'm gonna use colored pencils for this one. So the first question I'm going to answer is from Teresa, and you asked, when did you start drawing? So I guess, I've always been involved in like artistic activities growing up. I was being a creative person, but I didn't start drawing like on a regular basis until about, I want to say like 10 years ago, maybe 10, 12 years ago. Before that, I used to do like collages, and then growing up and like when I was a teenager or into college, I was more into like theater, acting, filmmaking, photography, a little bit of dance. I grew up in the 80s, just for reference. Yeah, drawing came much later actually. Yeah, I want to say about 10 years ago. Michaela, you asked, when did you decide to become a full-time artist? I want to say like it's always been like a desire of mine to have a creative career, but I've really mostly consciously decided to become a full-time artist just about maybe 3 years ago. Like really, maybe 2 even, like when I turned 50, 2 years ago, I figured, you know, now is the time. If I'm gonna go for my dream, then, you know, the time is now. So, and I felt when I turned 50 that I shouldn't really care about what other people thought, you know, if people thought it was difficult or not. I've always been sort of discouraged to embrace a creative career because it's true, it used to be more difficult to make money as an artist. But yeah, I would say just about 2 years ago, I decided to just, you know, go for it, start the journey, see where it takes me, and yeah. And then I'll answer a third question. Avon, that's how you say your name, asked, do you watch YouTube videos? And if so, what kind of content do you like? I do watch a lot of YouTube videos. I don't own a TV. And I watch some of my other artist friends' videos, but I also watch a lot of other stuff. I like to watch videos about travel, even sometimes van life. There's this channel, this couple I've been following for quite a few years. Kira and Nate, and they've traveled around the world, and their videos are pretty nice and fun. I've watched a lot of spiritual themed videos, a lot of podcasts on spirituality. For instance, I like Know Thyself is one of the spiritual channels I watch. There's also a good podcast from Rich Roll that I like, and that's more like human potential type of content. And I also watch some home decor YouTube videos, like I like Alexandra Gator. So yeah, I do watch a lot of YouTube videos and a fairly big variety of subjects. So apparently drawing and answering questions at the same time doesn't really work for me. I think this could be a lot better. I'm gonna redraw another version on the second page of this sketchbook spread because yeah, I was too distracted trying to answer the questions to do a good job on this little ribbon, which is super cute. And I don't think I'm gonna work on the coral tonight because it's getting kind of late and I'm feeling quite tired actually. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this little ribbon and then call it a night. As you saw, I started drawing a new toad, kind of to make a little friend for this guy that I drew in pen a few years ago. So this is graphite, obviously, and yeah, as I continue to draw this new toad, which maybe someday we'll make it as a sticker as well, I thought I would answer a few more questions that you kindly sent. Let's see. Teresa asked, what's your favorite art supply? Really my pencils, whether it's a graphite pencil, colored pencils, mechanical pencils, and that's kind of the medium I really prefer. And yeah, there's a lot of cool pencils out there. And then you also asked if you could go do a self-art retreat abroad, where would you go? I would love to travel to many different destinations. Now, if it were a self-art retreat, I think I would try to pick a place where nature is pretty lush, so maybe something like Costa Rica. Maybe I'd love to visit Thailand. I grew up in Europe, so I mean, even though I'd love to travel there again, I don't know if that would be the first place I would go to for a self-art retreat. Maybe Portugal, Teresa. I would love to visit Portugal, actually. But yeah, maybe I would choose a place like Costa Rica. Evan asks, do you find it difficult to have a routine in your daily life, or are you an organized person in general? I think I'm a pretty organized person in general. I do have a pretty specific routine. Due to my day job, I have to respect a very precise schedule for my day job. And so then the time I have left around that, I kind of have to organize it so that I get done what I want to get done. So right now, yeah, my routine is a little bit rigid because of my day job, but hopefully down the line I can have a bit more flexibility and choose the routine that really works for me best. Brian asked a lot of questions. You asked, what fictional character would you choose to befriend? I think I would choose to befriend E.T. It's that little character. That movie came out in 1982. I would be very interesting to have conversations and be friends with an alien who's friendly. And I think E.T., he's a scientist and explorer, so I think that would be a great being to befriend and have really cool conversations. He could teach me about the cosmos and what's going on beyond the Earth, and maybe I can talk to him about my experience as a human being. It's Sunday about noon, and I kind of feel like the day is getting away from me. So I really need to get back to my toad drawing, and of course I have more questions to answer. However, I think first I'm going to go for a walk, kind of enjoy some fresh air, go to the lakefront, because I feel also very scattered in my mind, so I think I need to kind of ground my energy. And yeah, do you want to come with? Let's go. So of course I had to make myself coffee when I got home from the lake. It's actually not very cold outside. It's in the 50s, which is, I'll take it. It's actually very mild for the season. But I'm not here to talk about the weather. So I wanted to answer a few more questions. Let's see. Marianne, you asked, what do you feel most intimidating to draw? I think for me, really what makes something intimidating to draw would be the expectation that I have about it. I will say though that I don't draw people. It's not really my wheelhouse, but I do find that very intimidating. But even when I think about the botanical world and animals, they could probably be very intimidating to draw, only because maybe my expectation would be for the drawing to be hyper realistic. If I think of just drawing it with my own point of view, and even if it ends up being a little quirky, it would still be a successful drawing, then that kind of drops the intimidating part of drawing something that might be a little bit more complicated. So that's kind of how I view being intimidated by drawing something. I hope that answers your question. Then Brian asked, how has your style changed over time? I really didn't consider I had a style until kind of recently, like mid-year this year, when I started really getting more into graphite and working on my technique and kind of, yeah, I feel like now I sort of feel like I have a style, but I didn't for many years, and so it's kind of hard to tell. You know, my drawings have evolved a lot, but I think they have evolved not really in style, but in the quality of the drawings, or like my skills and techniques have improved, and then you can see the evolution that way. But when it comes to style, I think that's a very recent thing, so I guess ask me again in a couple years and maybe I'll have a better answer. Question still from Brian. How do you define success in one of your pieces of art? For me, my drawings are successful if I like the end product. Even if people give me positive comments on it, I mean, that's always great. That's always very nice. But for me, it will be truly successful if I really like it. Obviously, the best case scenario is if I love the piece and then you love it as well. You know, and then that's kind of that sweet spot that, of course, I think every artist strives for. I think as an artist, it's easy to notice the little mistakes or things that we might have done differently that maybe someone watching from, you know, the outside will not see that, or might appreciate the quote-unquote mistakes as, you know, maybe the quirky side of a drawing, or make it more interesting. Yeah, so for me, though, to summarize, it's really about whether I love the piece or not, and if I love it, it's great. Marianne, you asked, is there any subject you have no interest in drawing? I would say in this point in time, I don't really have any interest in drawing anything like structural, like anything architectural, or even like cars, or, you know, things like that. I'm not even really that interested in drawing landscapes right now. I'm just really focused on the flora, fauna, and I think I'm gonna be for a while. It's really what I'm passionate about, and I think things will evolve, of course, and it's not to say that I'll never draw a landscape or anything, you know, architectural or anything like that. But for right now, yeah, I'm just not into that. And then Brian asked, which animal best matches your abilities? Which, maybe it's a bunch of animals, maybe it's just not one. I mean, if I had to pick one, probably the cat for the curiosity factor. But I don't know how that reflects in my drawing abilities. And then Marianne, you asked, which artist inspire you the most? I would say the artist that has inspired me the most in recent years has been Lisa Congdon. And it's not so much by her art, although I do like what she does. I'm inspired by her artist journey because she started as a self-taught artist and also later in life, so very similar to my situation. And she's kind of shown me that it's possible to be a self-taught artist and make a career out of it. Now, of course, things have opened up a lot in the last few years, and there's so many ways now for artists to make money and create a career that doesn't involve being in a gallery or anything like that. But yeah, if I had to pick a person, I would say Lisa Congdon. And then there's a lot of other artists, even younger artists, that I find very inspiring, either because, you know, they have an interesting visual language or a message, and yeah. And then the last question is from Brian again, and it is, what is your weirdest hidden talent? And my weirdest hidden talent would be, I don't know if I can still do it. I was able to move my nostrils without moving my nose. Let's see. It's kind of subtle, so I don't know. Otherwise, other hidden talents, I can let you know about your past lives. Not like instantly, I have a process for that, but yeah, so that's kind of a weird thing I can do. Not really a talent, just a weird thing I do. So those are all the questions you sent me. I believe I answered everything. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any follow-up questions, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I think I'm going to finish that toad I started. I'm kind of halfway through, and yeah. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. If you watched till the end, why don't you put a little frog emoji in the comments? And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments, share it with your friends. If you'd like to support my work further, I do have a page on Ko-fi.com where you can also buy my stickers, and I'll have new stickers coming out in about a couple of weeks, at least before the end of the month of November. Of course, I'll let you know in the community tab and also here in my vlogs. And yeah, if you're not subscribed already, please do so, and I'll see you next week in a new video. Bye!